Hey guys, how y'all doing? Aaron here with you. So I'm just probably just make this a little bit of a new channel introduction. The last one I made was when I came back to YouTube in July 2017. So today is October 5th, 2017. Still having a hard time to accept Tom Petty's death. It's really still shocking. Like still, it's crazy. I actually did some guitar tutorials and bass tutorials for 3 of his songs in 2014. Refugee, Running Down a Dream, and what was the other one? Learning to Fly. Yeah, classics. I mean, Refugee, I think is one of the coolest songs to ever start with an F sharp. Besides maybe Crazy Train by Randy Rhoads, Ozzy Osbourne. Running Down a Dream, which I think is one of the greatest songs ever written in rock and roll history. Just yeah, I mean, no joke, honestly, when I pick up my guitar, sometimes I'll start playing Refugee. I don't know, it's just one of those songs I use to tune up, I guess. And like I said, one of the coolest songs to ever start on an F sharp. So yeah, so rest in peace, Tom Petty. It was confusing at the beginning. Reports were saying that he was still alive, and he was, some were saying he was dead, some were saying he was alive. It was kind of, they jumped to conclusions, and I'm sure his family's probably upset by that, because I mean, family should know before, us fans, internet people, social media. It's crazy, Some reported that he was dead. Some reported that he was in and out. So it's like, I mean, I remember I was on Twitter and I was saying, the hashtag, pray for Tom Petty, if he is still alive. And at that moment, he died. I think around 8:20 p.m. He was brought to the hospital Monday morning. I think most people think it was he was found on Sunday. The day before, not breathing, in full cardiac arrest, and then brought to the hospital and died the next day. But I believe he actually was found Monday morning, October 2nd, and he died that night. So it sucks. We lost a lot of good musicians this year, Like it's weird. Like in May, Chris Cornell Soundgarden, Audio Slave, you know, other stuff he done. He died suicide in May. 2 months later, Chester from Linkin Park, suicide. And I was saying to my wife, I said, geez, if it's, you know, we're losing a lot of musicians, you know, last year. Really, it started at the end of 2015 with Scott Weiland and then Lemmy. And then, you know, get into 2016, and then you got David Bowie, and you got Prince, and you got the guy, it's Glenn from the Eagles. Just kept going and kept going, and, you know, a lot of musicians died, and then this year, like I said, so it's like when July, after Chester from Linkin Park died, I said, geez, I hope like nobody dies in September. I said, because that would be like every second month we're losing a major musician. But really, like Tom Petty, you know, it sucks that he died, but he almost died in September. It would have been eerie. I thought about that. It's so strange. It's just like would have been like, you know, Chris in May, 2 months later, Chester, July, September would have been Tom Petty, but he died October 2nd. So, anyways, this is my fucking way of thinking. But it's sad, you know, it's Tom Petty's a legend. I grew up on his music with the Heartbreakers. His solo albums, his solo stuff I think was incredible, you know. And the Traveling Wilburys, I remember when they released their album, I think it was in 1988. I was born in 1982. So when they released their album, I was 5. I would have been 6 that December of '88. So, and I remember when, I remember when Roy Orbison died of a heart attack, because he was part of the Traveling Wilburys, and I liked their stuff. My idiot father was a fan of theirs, and you know, he bought the record or whatever, played it, and then next thing you know, Roy Orbison passed away of a heart attack. And it was just like, wow, it was a shock to everybody. So I remember that. So I was like 5, 6 years old when that happened. You know, and George Harrison was part of that group. He's gone, and now, you know, Tom Petty's gone. I think there's just Jeff Lynne and Bob Dylan that's left from the Traveling Wilburys. But I grew up with Tom Petty's music. I've never really referenced him as an influence in me in music. In any of my videos. I mean, like I said, I did tree tutorials for his songs back in 2014. But his music was always there. I mean, you know, it's free, you know. Free falling. It's funny because his voice changed so much from the first albums to his later albums. And his earlier albums, it's almost like he had an accent. He had a unique voice. I find, like, you know, running down a dream never would come to me. Like the way he sang, it was just like learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. It's like I can imitate his voice a little bit, sort of. Not very good, but just the way he talked and everything. Anyhow, so it sucks, you know. I've been thinking about it since he died, and I mean, Chris Cornell's death hit me hard because I was a huge Soundgarden fan. I grew up on the Seattle Sound in the early '90s. You know, and pretty much all those guys are gone, frontmen for all those bands around that era. Pretty much except for probably Eddie Vedder, I think, from Pearl Jam. Yeah, they're pretty much all gone, like that era. But Chester Bennington, I graduated high school in 2000. Their debut album came out later that year. But one of my favorite songs of all time by them is In the End and Castle of Glass. I did a guitar tutorial for Castle of Glass on my channel last year in 2016. I actually love Castle of Glass so much. First time I heard it, I just loved it. And just when Chester started, when I'm only a crap. Like, when he could kick in with his vocals there, like, it just melted me. Like, I just thought, wow, this is an amazing song. Like, just do 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 do. Like, you know, a lot of their songs had famous piano intros, but I thought that one was really, really good. They got a lot of, you know, harsh criticism for that because it wasn't heavy music or whatever. But that's stupid, man. Like, bands, you know, bands evolve. They make all kinds of whatever they want to make, music wise or whatever, you know. And even One More Light, the album that they released, you know, I think they released it. I think it was on the day that Chris Cornell committed suicide, or the day after. It was around that time, and they performed One More Light on Jimmy Kimmel, I believe, and they dedicated it to Chris Cornell. And Chris Cornell performed with Chester Bennington in 2008, I believe, on stage. And, you know, the song is about losing somebody, and then, you know, Chester sadly, you know, committed suicide on Chris Cornell's birthday, July 20th. Some idiot told me to hang myself on that same day. Anyways, long story. Talked about it. I'm not gonna rehash it. Somebody told me that in a guitar tutorial. But anyways, yeah, the internet. So anyhow, just want to say that thanks to all the people that have been subscribing to me lately, and the views that I'm getting. Like, my channel literally went from 1,000 subscribers to 3,000. Like, I have 3,000 some subscribers right now in like a week and a half or 2 weeks or something. Like, people, like, they just came to my channel. Like, I mean, most of my channel is guitar and bass tutorials. It's close to 700 songs I've taught, and the rest are covers. And there's like 200 videos of like randoms, you know, just biographies, or like, oh, anniversaries, or, you know, my recent stuff. You know, video clip from my daughter's 2nd birthday, or visiting the spot where my best friend who was killed in 1997. Just, you know, I just put up random videos every now and then. You know, I'm more music, obviously oriented, my channel, but I also, you know, I have a life too. You know, I've been married for 9 years. My wife and I, we've been together for 14, but we've been married for 9 years on August 8th. We got married on 08/08/08. It's kind of neat. And I have a daughter who turned 2 in September, and I have a son who's 5, and he's going to be 6 on November 15th. So, yeah, so I'm 34 years old right now. As of this moment, I'm 34 years old. You might not believe me, but I had to make a video before telling people how old I was, because nobody believed me. And it's true, even me, when I look back at my first videos, which were, I started uploading in early 2013. I've been on YouTube since 2007, 2010. I started uploading videos in early 2013. So 4.5 years ago, we'll say. And I look at some of those early videos and they're terrible. Like, I don't even know why I don't just delete them, because they're not the best. I've obviously progressed since then, and but yeah, I look like a kid back then. But I mean, for people to tell me that now, it's ridiculous. I still get it all the time. People don't think I'm 34 years old, going to be 35. I mean, earlier this year, I had a girl who didn't know me. She came up to me and she said, "Oh, you must be glad you have the day off." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Well, don't the high school kids have the day off today?" I said, "Do you honestly think I'm in high school?" She said, "Well, yeah." I said, "Holy jeez, lady." I said, "Thanks for the compliment, but I'm class of 2000. I said, "I graduated high school 17 years ago." Oh, geez, she couldn't believe it. She almost dropped to the floor right there. She couldn't believe it. I remember on my 30th birthday, December 14th, 2012, which isn't a date that is remembered by a lot of people. It's the day of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. And it was my 30th birthday, so December 14th, 2012, I turned 30. And that was the day that school was shot up. Geez, a funny story about that day. Earlier that day, my wife and I, we were at lunch. And we started talking about school shootings, and I was talking to her about Columbine, Virginia Tech, and a bunch of different school shootings that have happened, and I'm giving her, just talking about it, details. We're just talking or whatever. So, you know, we finished our lunch, and we walked out, and I said, you know, it's funny. You never know when another one's going to happen or where it's going to happen, you know. So, we went and did some Christmas shopping or whatever, and then later on we got home, and eventually we turned on the TV, and boom, we seen the news. Newtown, Connecticut, elementary school shooting. Gunman kills 15, 20 students, elementary kids. And we're like, we looked at each other and we were like, holy, like, wow. We're like, we were just talking about this stuff this morning. And we're saying, like, you know, we don't know when one is ever going to happen. And boom, one happens. Like, that day that we were talking about school shootings, and boom. You know, and an elementary school. Oh, pitiful, pitiful. You know, and it's sad, you know, a lot of people that do stupid stuff like shooting up schools or whatever, or, you know, like, or your supermarket, or, you know, I'm not even going to name names. You might know who I'm talking about. People, you know, one couldn't get a girlfriend or whatever, a millionaire, spoiled rich kid goes out and, you know, kills people because, you know, he couldn't get a girlfriend, so he thinks he should kill random people, you know. Anyways, yeah. It's weird, you know, the way people are fascinated with people who commit, you know, serial killers. They were. It's weird how people like think of these people as gods. In a way, it's so pathetic. Like, you know, I mean, these people obviously suffered from mental illness or whatever. But I mean, I don't think anybody has the. You don't do stuff like that. This is not, you know. You don't have the right to take anybody's life. Like, it's ridiculous. And people say to me, well, you know what? They were suffering from mental illness. You know, they needed help or whatever. Well, you know what? I didn't have an easy life. I deal with a lot of stuff on a daily basis. I've said it in past videos, stuff I deal with. I've got a lot of health problems. I just had a hard life growing up. You can watch my previous videos. I made videos about everything that I deal with, everything that I suffer from. You know, the medication I take on a daily basis, just basically to keep me functioning every day. You know, depression, PTSD, social anxiety, like just insomnia, everything. Like, you know, like right now I'm running on like 2 hours of sleep because I barely slept last night, and that's normal for me because I just don't get much sleep, but I'm used to it. But anyhow, so yeah, to add more to my, I got off topic as I always do, because when I start talking, I keep going. I'm bad for that. I just keep going. I don't have much time, though. I have to pick my daughter up very soon. But anyhow, most of my videos, like I said, are guitar and bass tutorials and covers. But I've always said that I'm a drummer. I've been drumming since I was 9. So I've had over 25 years experience playing drums. I mean, but there were times where years would go by where I wouldn't play because I either didn't have a kid, or I lived in an apartment building, or I just wasn't able to play my drums or whatever. So there's been a lot of times, you know, 2 years went by where I didn't play drums, but then I'd get behind a kit and I'd go crazy and freak out, and you know, it never left me. I feel like it's just, I have it. Like, that's one thing I'll say about myself. Guitar and bass, nah, that's just for fun. I'm a drummer, and my drum set is right there. I'm staring right at it. My Tama drum set. I'm a proud Tama user. I'm not gonna say what else I use. I already did, but there's really no point in saying what else I use. Actually, I applied for a drumstick endorsement back in July. Haven't heard anything back from them yet. They said they announced artists at the end of the month, and anyways, they've announced artists since. But I think they made up their decision about me, and if they're watching this right now, I really don't care, because I don't care. There's so much stuff out there that you can use, you know, whatever you prefer or whatever. I mean, I've been loyal to this company for a decade or whatever. But anyhow, yeah. Anyhow, so like I said, yeah. I mean, lately I've been getting a lot of subscribers. Wow, and a lot of views. A lot of views on my drum solos. I don't have a fancy camera. I don't have a high-tech sound system. I don't even have a CD player that can compete with my drum set and record my camera, so I can play along to a song on drums and play along to the track. So that's why I've been just doing drum solos for now, because I'm saving up to invest into a good sound system and a better recording equipment to capture stuff, so I can show people that I can actually, play songs. I think I upped a Megadeth Countdown to Extinction. I just played the drum track. It's what I do every day. I play along to music on my iPod and listen to it on headphones and play. That's what I do. So that's what I did with that Megadeth song. That's the only one I've done. But I mean, just hearing drums by itself. I mean, drums are drums. I mean, you can play freestyle like me. I can solo for 10 minutes, and just keep going and going and not stop and not think about it. It comes natural to me. I don't have to think about it. It just comes natural. But yeah, so I guess eventually I'll start doing covers and whatnot. But now for now I've been doing a lot of just drum solos or whatever. And my last 2 drum solos, which I uploaded, which I thought were pretty good solos. But I mean, I have my days like everybody else. Some days I'm good, and some days I'm not. Whatever. Most people. It's weird. Like, some people, they just can't give you a compliment. You can tweet out to somebody that you really look up to, and they got your tweet, but they couldn't just click that heart button to say like they liked your comment. Because you just say you just love them as an artist. They've been a big influence in your playing or whatnot. Like, I don't know. It's weird, because I mean, it's like the big YouTubers. You're never gonna hear from them. Like, they'd say, "Oh, leave me a comment below," but then they get thousands of comments or whatever, or they tell you to follow them on Twitter, and you never hear from anybody. Like, I said to my wife, I said, unless you're in Metallica, you're never gonna get anywhere. And I mean, let's face it, Metallica is probably the biggest band in the world. Well, I mean, it's debatable, but I mean, Metallica is up there. I mean, obviously they've sold probably about 80, 90 million records. But I mean, I don't know. Michael Jackson could have sold more. Well, actually, yeah, Michael Jackson Thriller is the greatest selling record of all time. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, actually. But anyhow, this is just a little video to say, just to thank everybody for subscribing to me and watching my videos that I've been getting lately. And of course, I wanted to just do a little tribute to Tom Petty there, because he's been on my mind ever since I heard the news. At first, and my wife broke his death to me, just like she did with Chris and with Chester. It's like, Chris died in May, and then I lost my grandmother to cancer in June, and then in July Chester died, and then a guy told me that I should hang myself. And then one day I said to my wife, I was so depressed. I said, I'm so messed up in my head right now. I said, I'm just thinking, I'm surrounded by all this death happening around me. People that I appreciate as musicians, are killing themselves and are dying or whatever, and and then there's a lot of other musicians that have died, like the drummer for Boston died this year. Recently, I think a famous jazz artist died. I can't remember his name, because I was not a fan of his, but a lot of people were really sad when he died. So we lost a lot of musicians this year. But I say it started really at late 2015 with Scott Weiland's death, and then Lemmy at the end of 2015, and then boom, I think in January 2016, David Bowie, and the next thing you know, it was Prince, and the guy from the Eagles, and just crazy, just wow. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make this like a intro video or whatever, but it's just just a video to say thank you to people that are actually appreciating my what I'm doing on YouTube. Seems like finally after 7 years I'm getting some of the recognition I feel I deserve. I mean, I've only been uploading videos for like 5 or 4 years, 4.5 years, but I put a lot of work and time into my videos, and it wasn't paying off. But like I said I hope that now that I'm coming. In December 2016, I said to YouTube, I said to you guys, I was done with YouTube. I thought I was done with YouTube forever. I was done making videos. I had enough. But in July of this year, 2017, I decided to come back because my wife had bought me a brand new in the box set of Tama Stage Star drums. Surprised me. Wasn't expecting that. She knows that's my passion, and that's what she's an amazing singer. That's her passion. Well, I'm a drummer. That's my passion. So she surprised me with that, and I've just been drumming nonstop. That's all I've been doing. So I've probably uploaded like 5 or 6 solos since July. Just random messing around. But that's where my channel is gonna focus on now. People are still saying, why you're not doing guitar or bass stuff. I said I'll still do the occasional guitar stuff or whatever, or me and my wife will do a cover on a guitar and she'll sing or whatever. We'll still do the occasional stuff, but for the most part my channel is going to focus now on drums, tutorials, covers, lessons, or whatever, because like I said, I've been getting a lot of views, particularly on my drum solos, so that means that my audience is obviously interested in my drum solos. So that's what I'm going to target, because that's what I always said guitar and bass was just for fun. It's not something I ever took seriously. I've had people tell me I'm a terrible guitar player, and I've had people just worship me as a guitar player. I'm not gonna disagree or agree. I mean, I started playing guitar when I was 13, but I didn't take it serious until I was like 15, and I started playing bass when I was like 17 or 18. So I mean, 25. It's almost 20 years of playing guitar, but you wouldn't think. I've never had a formal lesson for any instrument I've learned, and I can play a couple of instruments, so I've never ever taken a lesson or whatever. Sure, I've read tabs or whatever, but I never sat down with an instructor and took a lesson or whatever. It's just I was just self-taught or whatever. So I have a good ear for music. So anyhow, I'm not sure if I'm leaving anything out here. It's just I just wanted to. I was gonna make this a new channel introduction video, but I think I'm just gonna. It's gonna be like a new channel introduction video, I guess. The last one I made was, hey guys, I'm back after a 7-month break, and that was in July, early July or whatever. But this one's more updated or whatever. And I just want to say thanks to people, subscribing to me, and Twitter too. I got over 1,200 followers on Twitter, and that was almost overnight too. Like, it was crazy. So yeah, and my Twitter is it's in the description. I'll also put in the description my tutorials for the Tom Petty songs I did on guitar and bass back in 2014 for Running Down a Dream and Refugee and Learning to Fly. I mean, they're not the best tutorials, but they show you how to play the song. So yeah, I just wanted to comment on Tom Petty's death and thank people for putting their faith in me and subscribing to me and whatnot. And I hope that my channel just gets bigger, and I appreciate all the views, and I don't take any of that for granted. I think I'm one of the most humble, appreciative, honest people, especially on YouTube. I mean, there's some pretty. Some people are pretty bad in their comments and the way they are or whatever. But I try to be nice to everybody or whatever. But I mean, I get a lot of hate. I don't know why. I just always have, and I never get comments. So like, it's weird. My drum solos, I'll have almost 5,000 views, but I'll have maybe 20 comments, 30 comments, if that. So I've never been. You know, like I said, some people would kill them to give a comment to somebody, because they say, oh, that'll just go to that guy's head. He'll think that he's, he knows he's good or whatever, or he'll just think he's really, really, really good if I tell him that, wow, this was really awesome or whatever. But I'm not like that. I don't fucking take comments like that and run with them. I've been compared to somebody said that I reminded them of Dave Lombardo, who is the drummer from Slayer, and somebody called me Mr. Peart's Pert from after Neil from Rush, which I don't agree with. I'm not on those guys' level. I'm confident as a drummer, but I am not on their level at all. I do play a lot of Slayer when I jam, and Rush I do as well. A lot of progressive rock bands too. I like that style. It's just so like I'm a huge Dream Theater, Mike Portnoy fan. Like just a whole bunch of like really good drummers. Fast drummers. I prefer to play fast music. I get bored playing slow. I mean, I like a good rock song, or like or a ballad or whatever. But for me, my thing is my heart is in like heavy stuff, speed, metal, hard rock. That's what I prefer to play. But then again, I could play jazzy stuff, or I play the blues or whatever. As a drummer, I can play whatever style you throw at me, or guitar and bass. I hardly ever play that. I hardly ever play my guitar or my bass anymore. Since I got my drums earlier this year, it's just been drumming. So anyhow, so like I said, I'm gonna probably upload this tonight or tomorrow. So yeah, it's just a big thank you to all the new people that are following me and watching my videos, and leave me some comments. Besides hate, like wow, I get it's like if you're gonna judge me on a video from March 2013, you might want to look at what I'm doing now. Obviously, as a player, whatever, I've come a long way since those videos or whatever, better equipment, whatever. I always said, I'm a drummer, I'm not a bass player, I'm not a guitar player, I'm a drummer. I just didn't have a kid, or, I'm like right now, I'm saving up for a double bass pedal. I'm a stay-at-home dad, my wife is a teacher, so I don't have much time to make videos and really play music, except for in the evenings or on the weekends, because I watch, I send my son to school in the morning and I wait for him when he gets home off the bus, and I watch my daughter all day, so I'm busy with my kids. But like I said, I am a musician, but first and foremost, I am a husband and a father. My 2 kids and my wife mean the world to me, and you can see that in my videos and everything that my family comes before anything in my life. You couldn't give me $1 billion to leave my family. I love my 2 kids and my wife beyond anything, and anybody who's close to me, who follows me, knows how I feel in regards to my family. And then next, I'm a musician. So yeah. Thank you for everything. Big thanks. I never thought I was going to see this big growth all of a sudden like this. It's almost... I thought it was a glitch at first. I didn't believe it. I didn't think, whoa, like, I jumped to almost 1,000 subscribers almost overnight. But then again, like, I talk to a lot of big YouTubers, and I say that nobody responds to you, but I mean, if you've been following somebody for a long time and you've seen them get really big and you're still friends with them and you talk to them, it helps. Some people say, hey, go check this guy out, man, he's a pretty good drummer, check out his content, it's pretty good. I might have had somebody, I don't even know, I don't think anybody, as far as I know, nobody gave me a shout out that's super famous. I think that I'm actually just getting appreciated for what I do. you know, and what I do for music. You know, I think my talent in all aspects of music and what I do is being recognized finally. I'm starting to get the recognition that I feel that I should deserve. And I'm not bragging saying that. It's just that I put a lot of time and effort and work into what I've done. Why would it? It's not really work. It's a labor of love. I love playing music. But yeah, I mean, all these subscribers and views. I mean, perhaps somebody did give me a shout out. I don't know. Nobody told me. Honestly, it's I'm speechless. It's just a sudden rush of views and sudden rush of subscribers, and it's fantastic. So it's very, very much appreciated. So I gotta end this video right now, and because I have to go get my daughter and pick her up. So yeah, so you know, rest in peace, Tom Petty, a legend. You know, it's sad, sad, sad. I'm still thinking about it. For some reason, when I hear about somebody's death, even if I didn't know them or whatever, it bothers me. It's the type of person I am. I remember people's deaths, dates, and everything, and you know, it's just the way I am. I guess I'm very sensitive when it comes to stuff like that. I guess I'm just an overly sensitive person. I guess I take things really serious. I care, you know. I don't like to see anybody hurting because, you know, the life I had or whatever, and like it's, anyways. But anyhow, so this is just a big thank you to everybody who subscribed to me and who's shown me a lot of support in the last like 2 weeks or whatever. You know, the views and the subscribers. I can't say thank you enough. It's awesome. It's great. I wasn't expecting a huge jump like this, and I hope it just continues to grow and grow in you. Appreciate the stuff that I do in the future, and yeah, so I'm gonna upload this video, and we'll see how many views I get on this one, and obviously that'll be a sign of how things are gonna go. So yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything I should say in this video that I left out. Geez, I don't think so. You know, just no, not really. It's you know, no. I'm just trying to think. I was trying to think, you know, because if I was gonna make a random video, this would be it. Now would be the time to say stuff I need to say or whatever. But I am gonna do. My wife and I are gonna start doing covers of songs again. I made a playlist with my special guest vocalist. I never said who she was, but I can say it now. It's my wife singing, and she sings amazing. Like, she can sing anything. Like, wow. My wife is an amazing singer. And I'm not just saying that because she's my wife. She is fantastic. Like, if she started promoting herself on YouTube or whatever, she would go far. I mean, she's had offers to sing for a lot of, like, not famous people, but she could have done something in our area where I live in the world. I live in New Brunswick, Canada, by the way, actually. Which is actually where Sabian Cymbals are located, and Los Cabos Drumsticks. I used to live 10 minutes from their factory, but I didn't know where their factory was. It's funny, this summer I was in Hanwell, where they are from. I'll tell this story really quick. I was trying to find their factory, and couldn't find it. I was on the street, couldn't find it. So I seen a guy working at his business, cutting his grass. So I rolled down the window and I said, "Excuse me, do you know where Los Cabos Drumsticks factory is?" He's like, "Who?" I said, "The Los Cabos, the drumsticks company." He's like, "Never heard of them." I said, "You never heard of them?" Okay, thanks. And this is one long street. So we, you know, looked at the website, their address. We looked at the building, and it just looked like an empty warehouse. I thought they would have had their logo on their building, you know, to say, you know, Los Cabos Drumsticks. But there was nothing that would have indicated that that's where Los Cabos Drumsticks headquarters was. You know, they didn't have a sign on their building or anything, so I thought that was kind of weird. But anyways, it's a funny story because we were just looking, you know, for their factory or whatever. Because we used to live in Hanwell when my wife was going to university and I went to college back in, you know, 14, 10, whatever years ago. So anyhow, yeah. So yeah, thanks. Just a big thanks, whatever. Yeah, hopefully things just keep going up. And I appreciate everybody. And yeah, I'm very, very appreciative for every view, every subscriber. And yeah, thanks for digging what I do. I appreciate it. And like I said, I got over 1,300 some videos. So I do, like I said, guitar tutorials, covers, and I make videos of like, or biographies of people, or like what happened to Princess Diana on August 31st, 97. What happened to John F. Kennedy Jr. on July 16th, 1999? Or what happened to Randy Rhoads on March 19th, 1982? Or what happened to Cliff Burton on September 27th, 1986? Like biographies, like, you know, like of stuff, events, like I do a lot of stuff like that, like from time to time. Or I'll make a video of on the anniversary of some, or whatever. But anyhow, I gotta go. I gotta make this video short. I'm gonna be late. But, so thank you for people for all the likes and the comments and the subscribers. I appreciate it very much. I would love to have made this longer and not so random, but I have to go. But thanks. So just keep staying with me, people, and for new people, welcome to my channel. I appreciate it. Like, again, my name is Aaron. Obviously, that's my channel name. I'm 34 years old, from New Brunswick, Canada. There's not much else to say, I guess. You know, I've been married 9 years. I have 2 kids. My oldest is going to be 6. Soon, my daughter's 2. Yeah. So, yeah. So, thank you for putting your faith in me and liking what I do. It's awesome. I really, I never thought that people would care about what I do or whatever. But apparently people are starting to show an interest suddenly, so I appreciate it very much. I really, really do. Yeah. So thanks. I gotta go. Thank you.